Hello, everyone, and welcome to Roast My Paywall Live. Pretty excited to have Jake and Jeff with me today. For those of you who are familiar with RevenueCat, we're a subscription app platform with a mission to help developers make more money. And part of helping developers make more money is that RevenueCat has a ton of partners and integrations, from CRM to paywall providers like Superwall and Purchasely. So, Jake, why don't you tell us a little bit about Superwall?
Sure. Superwall is a monetization platform. We built a bunch of tools to help developers optimize their paywall and their monetization strategy. We offer a paywall builder, a way to run experiments, segment users, launch surveys, localization, and all the good stuff.
Awesome. And Jeff, how about Purchasely?
Hi. First of all, thanks, David. Thanks for the invitation. Glad to be speaking with you today. So, Purchasely was founded in 2020. We offer ways for growth team basically to run their campaigns, conversion, retention, win back, and promo. All this with no-code tools that you can directly launch in your app, including paywalls, but not only. And all this on native, on iOS, Android, and even Apple TV and Android TV. The goal there is to not only experiment on different subset of users, but also to build your marketing strategy right in our tool.
Very cool. And then RevenueCat, we actually just launched a Paywalls product as well. Each of the three of us have very different approaches to Paywall. And I think different people are going to resonate with different approaches. We're kind of the new kid on the block and have a very different approach to what Superwall and Purchasely are doing. But we hope you can find the right solution. But today is all about optimizing those paywalls. So whatever tool you decide to use, it's important to do some experimentation, to learn, to try and incorporate best practices, and then also to throw the best practices out the window and create your own best practices. So a few housekeeping items as we get going. We're not going to do a Q&A today. We actually had, I think, almost 100 submissions. So we want to focus on getting through as many paywalls as we possibly can today. So we're going to skip the QA. But because we had so many submissions and so many people, this is actually by far the most registered and attended webinar we've ever done at RevenueCat. So clearly there's demand to talk more about paywalls. So we will do future events and maybe take different approaches, try and get to some of the ones we missed this time. So if you submitted and you're disappointed you didn't see it today, there will be more opportunities in the future. Last thing is we will share a recording of this and post it to YouTube. So be on the lookout for that, to share it with friends. And if you need to bounce, you'll get to watch the rest of it when we publish it in a few days. So with all that said, let's get to the paywalls, because we got a lot to cover today. So the first paywall we're going to cover is from Sean Allen. It's a YouTube creator dashboard app. And here's some context from Sean, and then I'll pass it off to Jake and Jeff to kind of critique the paywall. So Sean says, it's not a hard paywall. It's a scrolling paywall to showcase the features and has a 90-second video walkthrough at the top. I show my paywall at the end of onboarding and when the user hits certain usage thresholds. I also have an upgrade button on my dashboard. So, Jeff, what do you think? Well, how's this paywall looking to you?
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. I mean, I really like it. I mean, I think the top content is the video, right? With the subtitles.
Yes.
So it's always good to have videos and subtitles, especially if you have localization here. I think there's a few tips on the table, like the feature free and pro. I've seen a lot of paywalls with this stable component, having even the check marks not in blue but in gray. Even though it's check, it gives a sense of it's all bad on one side and all good on the other. It's a long paywall, a lot of information, it's pretty good. Then I guess it's one thing is that, the annual and the monthly plan, they won't be displayed on most of the screens because I believe it's quite large screen iPhone. So in most cases, you won't see, and you will only see continue with annual plan. I think it's a little bit could be breach on the Apple guidelines, as you don't dismiss the price in the button, and you don't see it on the first screen. You get a scroll. Maybe I'll start if there is any trial. Is there any trial? No, there's no trial. Maybe worth trying it, especially on the annual, so that you leverage the higher LTV and retention on annual. Well, besides that, I don't have much to say. I think it's pretty good. We can see that he spent quite a great amount of time building this. Nice visuals. But just be the price not in the button. Maybe have a trial on the annual, and besides that, I think it's pretty decent first paywall.
All right, Jake, what do you think?
I think the design looks good. I'd probably change maximize YouTube success to something like subscribe to our annual plan or something like that. I don't know if this is too meta, but I think I would want there to be a bigger difference between what's offered in the free and the pro plan. Because it seems like most users coming in probably are fine on the free plan, and I think it'd be a little nicer if most users coming in would benefit greatly from the pro plan. Again, no trial needs to be tested. But if you're going to give, I think the way to go would probably be to put more behind the pro plan, but maybe offer a free trial. And then in terms of like copy, I would push more towards actually pressing continue. So literally telling them press continue, or subscribe today, or something like that. And then I would clean up the CTA. It's a little wordy. You could just say continue, or if you have a trial, try it free. Yeah,
I was going to bring up a few of those points as well, like the continue with annual plan. It's like a mouthful. That would be like one of the first things I would test is try something a little, not necessarily just continue, but like start subscription, or like like a more kind of clear, less wordy call to action. The other thing, like super nitpicky, but I don't know that everybody understands the infinity symbol. And so on the pro, you have the check marks, but then you also have the infinity symbol. The way this is laid out, actually writing it out like unlimited, it wouldn't fit. But I wonder if there's kind of a better way to communicate that.
I think a check mark is implied that it's just unlimited, maybe.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could also play on putting all the ones that are the first two check marks on the top. So the YouTube stats and home and lock screen widget could be on the top because they are common. And then as you're going down, you're winning. You see what you win by subscribing, or doing the opposite. We've seen also people like first focusing on what pro unlocks, and at the bottom just what's in common. Both worth trying, I believe. You can do an A/B test on this. I think you can find the sweet spot for you.
The other thing I was going to comment on, I actually did download this app earlier because he hadn't screenshotted all four of these, so I screenshotted it myself. But one comment on the video is that, the way it's screenshotted, and maybe in the actual video he zooms in a little more, but people are on their iPhone, and so when I pulled this up on my iPhone, I actually couldn't. Like, I can barely read the subtitles, and I've got great vision. So if you're going to put a video on your paywall, you want to make sure it's like eminently understandable. Like, people don't have to like squint to kind of understand what's going on in the paywall. So you want to like really zoom in and like really highlight.
Be like the last image.
Yeah, it should be like really zoomed in and really focused on those value props. Easy to see, easy to understand, easy to read, all those things. So that'd be another tip for improving this paywall. I love having a video there. I'm working on a video for upcoming update to one of my apps. And that's one of the things I'm really focused on. It's like the video needs to like really be so easy to read and understand because it's in such a small space. I know you did that, Jake, with Fitness AI. It was a huge unlock. Any video tips on creating a better video?
There's a tool called Rotato, like potato, but Rotato, and it's really good at building these like fancy looking like iPhone swiveling videos. I think the goal is to I think it's to show like you're a put together brand. I think people discount how much consumers are like, is this safe? Like, will they steal my credit card? Like, people don't know. So anything like a nice, like well-produced video, it builds that confidence. And also they work really well before onboarding even, because you're just showing the user what they're going to get.
Nice.
Yeah. And there's also a great point in the comments about contrast and primary color. So yeah, I strongly believe that the CTA should be the only colored button or even element, or at least a complementary color as the button.
Yeah,
because people are saying that it doesn't blend in, and I agree.
Yeah, the text is a little hard to read, like the gray on a black background. Yeah, it definitely could improve some of the contrast on the text. But then, I mean, I think the blue button actually does stand out nicely. I mean, it's like the most color on the screen, even if it's not the only color. So maybe that actually kind of hits your rule without specifically hitting your rule. It's not the only color, but it's so prominent that it really does draw your attention to the button. So I think that actually, I think they did a fairly good job. All right, let's rate it. So we're going to rate each paywall. I'll kick it off. Sean, love you, man, but I'd go 3 out of 5. I think you've done a good job. Like, this is a great like starting point, but I definitely think there's room for improvement here in iteration. Jake?
I'd say the same. Yeah, 3 out of 5.
Jeff?
Yeah, it depends on how much it converts, but 3 out of 5. But if it converts well, it's 5 out of 5. You know.
Yeah, it's a really, really good point. It doesn't matter what we say. Matters what works. So
yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's like counterintuitive, and that works. You know. So
yeah. Many times.
All right, let's head to the next one. This is Meal Prep Pro. Some context from the creator. Using RevenueCat experiments, we tested out the Blinkist style paywall and saw a 21% increase in trial start rate and a 15% increase in conversion to paying. We're now testing just showing the annual option with a more billing options button. It might have the results of that experiment by time for the Roast My Paywall webinar. So Andreas, if you're in the comments, go ahead and let us know, give us an update if there is data to share. In the meantime, okay. In the meantime, we will roast your paywall and then get back to the comments. So, Jeff, you kick it off again. What do you think?
Okay. First of all, I'm with no context. I don't know what it is. I guess maybe it's a batch cooking app, depending on the name of the app. But just like that, the problem of this paywall is that without no context, it's hard to tell. And as it doesn't bring you back the advantages of subscribing, you're kind of out of context. Well, a few things I noticed on this one is this is really a high converting from install to trial paywall, and still is, by the way. So might have some fatigue, but we've seen some customers of ours having a 200, like small ones, 200 better performances on this paywall than any other kind of paywalls. Especially the one on the right with 1 CTA, not many questions asked, 7-day free trial. Let's do this. Is an easy option. For the two first, for the version A, I would maybe try to add a third plan, because it was proven. I mean, if you listen to everyone in the industry, and I think Steve Young is the one that is screaming louder on this one, it's like 3 plans, offer 3 plans. So maybe offer 3 plans is a good one in the middle. And one trick that I like on this one, first of all, that you selected the annual first and you put the annual on the left. And if you have 3 of them, usually it's a 6 months, 1 year, 1 month option, the one that was democratized by, I think it's Tinder who did it first. is a good option. So try to do this and tell us how it works.
All right, Jake, any thoughts?
Yeah, I like this one a lot. I think the header image probably doesn't do much, although it looks nice. I think it would be less. I think it'd be less distracting without it. This paywall is all about the timeline and the text, so you really want to focus on that. I love the idea of testing annual only. That really helps with LTV, especially if you're running ads. It's much easier to recoup your investment and scale up. I'm not sure I like the footer so much. I think it's just there's a lot going on there. Maybe you can do restore, terms, and privacy on one line, and I would actually make contact us more prominent. I think it's almost a feature. It's easy to contact us. I think it builds a lot of trust.
By the way, what happens to the sign out button?
Yeah, I saw that was missing too. It's on the left in A. It's on the left. In B, it's on the right with the back button.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the contrast is a little tough with that background image. In the product switcher, I would get rid of $8.99 a month under the monthly. It's okay if it's missing, and it would just be like an added sort of element on the annual button. And then in terms of save 54%, I think 54% off has done better historically in experiments that I've seen.
Very cool. And I would say, Jeff kicked it off saying that this kind of a super simple, not a lot going on paywall can convert really well, but then that's super dependent on the context that they're coming in with. So if you've already kind of sold them and it's just kind of the final step, then this could work really well. But if you're showing this paywall, before onboarding or when they hit a pro feature or whatever, you probably want to kind of sell it a little more. But that's super contextual. And then there's one thing I think maybe next paywall webinar we'll do is like have the screen before or understand a little bit more about kind of what's leading into it to help with that context. And example I always give is like if you're calm and somebody's tapping on like LeBron James's pregame meditation, it's like they understand the value, and the Calm's paywalls are kind of famously simple. And so simple can work when people are like really engaged with the value and like understand what they're getting. But if it's this simple and they're not sold on the value, I think it's going to convert worse than using this as another opportunity to kind of like show some of the value. So, but again, super contextual depending on kind of what came before, how high their intent is, and that kind of stuff. All right, Andreas, are you in the chat? Did you share the any update on the conversion stats? Let's see, it's not scrolling for me. I'm not seeing it, so we'll just move on. But thanks for sharing, Andreas, and maybe you can update on Twitter, how things performed for this changing that paywall.
Oh,
all right, go ahead.
One more on this. Test if option B is doing better than A, then test A without a trial on the monthly.
Oh yeah.
That might be a good middle ground. You still give the optionality, but you're pulling people towards that annual. Because he's saying higher trial start rates on just one option, which is very interesting. Probably because the price is less prominent.
Yeah. By the way, we don't know if there is even a monthly trial period on monthly.
No, we don't know.
Yeah. So, I think in the chat, Andreas said the B version was converting better, which actually is something that we see at scale on our customers, having both of the templates. I think leaving less choices and the viewer plans is perfect. And you're right, Jake. The trial only on annual.
Yeah. One other thing I was going to mention, I was just talking to somebody on Twitter about this last night, is that you don't actually have to put the terms of service and privacy policy on your paywall anymore. It can be in your settings. It has to be linked inside the app. But personally, and like Jake was saying, the bottom of it feels really busy. I would just remove terms of services, privacy policy, put that in settings somewhere to just clean this up.
Even
and then,
better.
like Jake said, make contact us a little more prominent, make restore subscriptions a little smaller. Yeah. I'm working on a paywall right now for one of my apps, and restore purchases at the bottom of the, like, you have to scroll down to get to, because that's like, you know, if you're set up properly, they shouldn't have to restore purchases. That's usually more of a rare case. So you're taking up such precious space on your paywall for something that should have automatically been fixed on launching the app. So
definitely.
Yeah, in this case, this is not a scrolling paywall, so maybe that's the only place to put it. But yeah, for others who have more real estate, I think restore purchases can be a little more hidden. Go ahead, Jeff.
Same for restore. You don't have to have it in a paywall, but it needs to be somewhere accessible for the users. And one thing on the B version is also that you have a lot of white space from the view all plans to the footer that could be leveraged to either showcase more content or one additional step, or maybe grow the image a little bit.
Or just bottom align it.
Let's give it a quick rating.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's performing well. I'm going to go 4 out of 5, assuming that there's like high intent and they've already kind of like done a lot of selling before they get to this paywall. Jake?
I'd say the same. 4 out of 5.
Jeff?
Well, 4 out of 5, but not for the paywall, but for making an experiment and try to move things out.
Gotcha. Yeah. So maybe 3 out of 5 just for the paywall. All right.
Yeah, maybe.
Spicy. Okay, next paywall. Whoop, I jumped to. All right, so this is Rainy Skies app from Joel Fisher. The context, this is a soft paywall. Users don't have to subscribe, but the app is limited without it. The paywall appears if the user taps on an ad on the weather home screen and on the settings page. Jake, why don't you kick us off on this one?
Sure. I don't know if I'm delayed a little bit. Please let me know. I'll refresh if my internet is weird.
You're good.
Okay, cool. I think the contrast on the X is kind of screaming at me. It's the contrast is, it's just kind of hard to look at. The title is good. Try it for free. I would maybe even just say start for free. I think the check marks in the selected product is probably redundant. And I think if you go horizontally, you might save some space. The padding underneath the footer is a little weird. And yeah, I don't know that I like the X's on the left and the checks on the right. I think I would just go with just the checks maybe.
Yeah, I don't even know what the X's mean. I don't understand. I don't understand the comparison. So that's like a huge room for improvement. Yeah. What else, Jake?
I think you probably just need to iterate on copy. Figure out what the value prop is.
Yeah. All right, Jeff, what do you got?
Wow. So first of all, I love weather apps. I use them a lot because I do bicycle, and sometimes leaving half an hour before or after change your day and your journey. So I guess this is kind of the stuff I would be a customer of. Few things. First of all, this is so boring. I mean, rain is boring, but wow, this paywall is really boring. I mean, when you want someone to purchase, you need to put them in a mindset where they actually are okay and willing to purchase, you know. And I think it's really, really a sad paywall. I mean, it's not giving me the will to purchase. The red and gray contrast, as Jake said, is totally, doesn't work at all. But then, well, maybe okay, let's say you want to show a gray sky in the back, maybe you could like put a video in the header and having the raindrops hitting the button. It's not that complex to build, just a video in the background, limiting to the first button and having a fake raindrops with a Lottie animation or something like the Apple Weather app does. Well, something that makes me want to feel there is a quality app behind it. Well, then the pricing is really surprising. $1 a month, $5 a year. Well, when it's that cheap, I'm not sure that you need for at least the monthly plan to have and offer a free trial. But also, well, well, $5 a year, it's so cheap. I will try to A/B test the price and try to higher prices, and maybe sell also the outcomes. What will it change for you? So if in the onboarding say, why do you want this app? Because I'm doing bicycles, for example, and I need to know when it rains, because I have a garden, I need to know if I need to water my plants, whatever, okay? But maybe in the onboarding, try to figure out what the user is expecting and sell them the outcome more than the features in this kind of paywall, and raise the prices.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. Also, the buttons here are huge, and that's like the buttons are really the focus. So again, it's like, okay, if you've really set up the value prop before they see this paywall, then maybe that works. Yeah. But I definitely experiment with like using more of the available real estate here to actually talk about what you're getting versus like just showing the packages. Yeah, and there's. I think this is the first one where we can say this needs a lot of work. I think. Take a look at some of the other paywall inspiration and figure out some more options to try. But that's what this is all about, right? Like you get this paywall up, maybe it's converting a little bit, and it's you get a baseline of how conversion goes, and then you try something new. So yeah, and I agree with everything Jake said. The red X's just don't look good. There's not a lot of value. There's not a lot of visual appeal here. And then, like I said on the last one, like cleaning up the footer, remove the privacy policy, remove the terms of use. So yeah, we're really getting to roast my paywall territory here, but I got to go with like maybe a 1 out of 5 on this one. I think it's a paywall, and you got the code all set up. So now it's time to really start iterating and build a paywall that really sells. Jeff?
Yeah, I think it's a 1 out of 5, which is a great news, because that means there's a lot of room for improvement. So yeah, if you're doing a good job already, you're doing a great job tomorrow. It's not like school when it's 1 out of 5 or it's a bad news. It's a good news because there's so many things you can improve. The weather is only going to be nicer for you tomorrow.
Yeah. Jake?
I agree. I'm with 1 out of 5 on this one. I think there's a lot of room for improvement.
Awesome. All right, let's move on to the next one. Now, this is a huge app, Citizen. It's fun that so many apps submitted here. We didn't want to only do indies. So here's some context from John at Citizen. We have multiple entry points, at least one for each paid feature and plus. The items on the carousel rearranged based on where the user entered from. Jake, I know you actually have worked with Citizen. I believe still work with Citizen. So we'll let you kick this one off. And this is probably being served by Superwall. So what do you got, Jake?
Yeah, I think it's an incredible paywall. If you notice the carousel, so the selected slide changes based on where you see the paywall, basically how you got there, which I think is a really powerful way of sort of having a custom paywall per placement, but then still letting a user explore and learn about other features the app has. It is a little cluttered though. I would like to see an A/B test where, I think the images maybe could be a little smaller, or I'm not even sure that they add much. Maybe checklists might do a little bit better. Especially like you have to realize you're tapping a feature and you think it's going to work, but then it doesn't, and this pops up. I don't think the graphic kind of illustrates a lot, illustrates what you're getting that way. So maybe like a screenshot of the actual UI and of the UI that you're unlocking instead of a graphic. And then also I think a CTA of subscribe today for create alert zones, or subscribe now to unlock past incidents. Maybe just being a little bit more direct. But other than that, it's a good paywall. It performs well, and overall great.
Cool. How about you, Jeff?
Yeah, nicest paywall so far, I'd say. I think it's a good idea to contextualize coming from the entry point that you come from. It's a great idea. Few improvement. If I had this paywall, few things I'd be testing is first to put the 12 months in the middle, like we've said before, the 6-12-1 order. Is proven to work better for longer conversion instead of the logical 1-6-12. Then I got a question, Jake, maybe you can answer. Is there any kind of animations on the create alert zone and unlock past incidents or the see registered offenders?
They're static images.
Okay, so I'll try to invest a little bit on Lodi animations, put Lodi animations because it's very appealing. Once again, it's a paywall inspired by dating apps. I've been doing this for quite a while with very nice Lodi animations. So maybe work a little bit on this to make it more appealing. And also one thing you should be considered is to localize and contextualize your screenshot. For example, the 200 feet from work. I don't know what a feet is because I'm European, but also maybe it's we can see Broadway and Vesey Street. Maybe it's New York. So maybe if I run the app from US local, I can say, okay, I'm going to put New York, but if I'm in France, I can put the Champs-Élysées or whatever. It's always better to have a little slight contextualization because it will actually change your conversion and improve it. I said Lottie. Sorry
Lottie,
for my very French accent. After Effects, whatever, but Lottie, yeah. I saw in the comments.
Yeah, I like this paywall a lot too. And this is actually a good example of being able to show 3 separate prices in a very compact, readable form. So like going back to the one before, I think this paywall could take a lot of inspiration from the Citizen paywall of showing all 3 plans, but showing it in a more condensed way. And then also maybe even a more attractive way with those buttons showing save 20%, save 33%. Interesting here, by continuing, you agree to the terms of use and privacy policy. That may be the only time you should put your link to terms of use and privacy policy at the bottom if for a legal reason you want to make sure they're agreeing to those terms and conditions. I don't know. It's always a little kind of BS that people just tap a random button and there's like a footer view and they're like making a legal agreement with your company. But, that does seem to be accepted, practice and accepted legally. So if you need that, that's the time to put this. But I actually do like how they did that. Like, it looks really nice. Like, it's a sentence, but the links are highlighted. So if you are going to put terms of use and privacy policy, I think this is actually a great example. Yeah, I don't have much else to add other than what Jake and Jeff said. Experimenting with animations, a video.
Maybe the check marks you can replace by small icons, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot and the thing is, like, as good as this paywall seems to be, trying something completely out of left field, like just totally different, to just see, like, okay, we landed on this, maybe do something just totally different, only offer one option, use the Blinkist timeline, just throw some things in here. And again, this is a really long paywall, so sometimes those long paywalls do convert better if you really need to sell, but maybe people are already sold. So maybe you'd be better off with like the paywall we looked at with Mealtime Pro, where it actually is just like the Blinkist timeline and 2 buttons or whatever. So that might be a great one for Citizen to experiment with, is like, when somebody's a little deeper into their journey, maybe they already understand the value prop, they're tapping on one thing. Maybe you only highlight that one value prop and you have a call to action button. So maybe on this one, experimenting with simplicity, especially depending on the context of where they came from, might be a good experiment.
Yeah, do we have auto scroll? Do we have auto scroll on this one?
It auto scrolls.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you have auto scrolls, one thing that you need to check, and we won't be able on still images, but you need to check that the time between different scrolls is adapted for you to have the time to read something, and also show you that there is more on the sides if you want to scroll. Which I'm sure they did. But if people have these kind of components, And you have auto scroll is great, but the duration between scrolls, especially when you have long text, etc., shall be adapted to the user for them to have the time to read.
Totally.
All right, I'm going to cheat and go 4.5 out of 5 on this one. I would give it a 5 out of 5, but hey, there's always room for improvement. So, Jeff, what do you say?
I was about to say 5, but come on, David. Yeah, there's always room for improvement. But I'd say okay. Replace the still images with nice loading animation, contextualize, and ship the basically what I've said and what we have all said. It's a 5. So of course we discussed a lot. So there's room for improvement. 4.5.
Yeah, I agree. I'll own up to it. It's a 9 out of 10. This is why I always advocate. Everything should be rated on a scale of 1 to 11. So that you can get a 10 out of 10, but there's room for improvement, and there's a way to just say, you know what, it's an 11 out of 10.
All right, we'll take that into account for next paywall roast, Jake. The scale will go to 11. All right, next paywall to look at is a Fortelling app. Fortelling is the name of the app. It's a writing and novel plotting app. Very little context on this one. The paywall opens up after tapping on a feature locked away. So yeah, lot to go here. Jake, kick us off.
Okay. Let me just. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of work on this one. I don't know what the point of the drop downs are. I think drop downs work best for Q&A. Like FAQs. If these are important features, then maybe you should just write out what is so important about them. And you're saying they're pretty important because it's the first thing you see. But yeah, I think maybe just a very tight checklist would do just as well. I hate it when apps sort of say like Fortelling Pro, or like. This isn't a point to like brand the pro offering. It's a point to convince a user to subscribe. So that Fortelling Pro badge is where you should say, subscribe for, subscribe today, or subscribe to continue, or something like that. Also, the icon is, I think it has more visual weight than the actual button. So I would address that. And then, is that an ad? I think it's actually an ad on the paywall. I would reconsider putting the ad on the paywall. I'd maybe get rid of it.
Yeah, it looks like maybe it's an ad for somebody, either their own like cross promotion, or maybe it's like, an ad for somebody else.
Sure
that is a little bizarre. It's like this is your paywall where you're advertising the paid version. So
yeah.
Jeff, what do you think? And you'll need to unmute your mic. You have a little bit of an echo, so when you're not...
Yeah, I think I had microphone switches, so I unplugged it. That's why you lost me for a second. All right, I think Albert Jan is in the chat, so yeah, maybe the advertising, I'm not quite sure, unless you want to say, hey, remove that. But do you really want your user to click on something else, then choose your plan? I think what happens in my mind right here, when the first thing I read is support development, it's like, okay, I'm an indie dev. I'm trying to get some money out of this, support me, etc. But either you're doing the support my indie work, or you're doing the pay for something pro. And I feel I have the two feelings in that paywall. So if you're doing you want to do something around a tipping strategy, there's a lot of paywalls with which you can choose the price you want to tip, one shot or recurring, etc. You should try this strategy if that's what you think your users are converting for, which is support your work. Okay. If it's not, it shouldn't be the first thing you put on your paywall. And then, I don't really like the having to tap to see the value of it. So either put texts that are more like self-explanatory, or do something else presenting the features. Maybe the carousel with different visuals and explanations, something better. And I don't think that the icon brings much in here. So there's quite a lot of work on this one.
Yeah, I agree. And it does seem like it helps to have a little bit of visuals. I feel like this is a very text heavy paywall. Like what about customizing the tools matters? Removing ads is a pretty obvious one. Like you don't even need to like describe it. So like that should just be part of a checklist, not you don't need to tell people what it means to remove ads. So like that's just kind of superfluous text. Like Jeff said, I mean, support development, there it's like, I mean, put a picture. There's I forget what app it is. There's this great weather app where the developer actually puts a picture of himself and says, "Hey, it's just me building this app," and it's like it's like, oh, cool. It's like this is another human being. So if you're gonna put like support development as kind of like a value prop, then you want to like kind of sell it a little bit, like show a picture, talk about yourself a little bit or whatever. But again, that probably shouldn't be as Jeff said, that probably shouldn't be the like main kind of thing you're selling on this paywall. You really want to sell the value. And so it looks like, the customizing and even web version. It's like, okay, great, you get the web version, but like, what does any of this do? So again, maybe this comes after onboarding and they already understand the value. Maybe this comes after they've already experienced the product and you don't need to do as much selling on the paywall. And that's fine. But then in that case, like this whole paywall could just be way more simplified with a little more kind of graphics, a little more visual appeal. So I'll go 2 out of 5. I mean, I think this is, it's not like it's heading the right direction. Like it's visually nice. I think can be stuff added here, but definitely a lot of room for improvement. Jake, Jeff?
I give it a 1 out of 11.
I'll say 1, 2 out of 5. Different skills. Good luck for the math.
All right. Next app, Mojo. Here's a big one. All right. So the paywall, here's the context. The paywall is in the onboarding triggered at triggered at gated content and features. One of the challenges is that we tried different copy and content, video versus slider, features versus benefits focused of Mojo Pro and haven't had a big breakthrough yet. So yeah, it sounds like Mojo's done a lot of experimentation and not seen a big breakthrough yet. So maybe we can help them find a breakthrough here today. Jeff, what do you think they can do to improve here?
Well, Michel is someone. He has published quite a lot of experiments online. So everybody in this chat today, in the chat or watching this, should have a look to what he publishes, because there's a lot of great insights. And by the way, it's a good time to say that the community is amazing, because even all of us being kind of competitors sometimes, we stick together to talk and help the community do better. So I think it's a great mindset that we have in the mobile ecosystem. Going back to Michel and his paywall, I think it's tough to have a paywall that fits every kind of needs and locations, etc. So because on the onboarding, you need to explain stuff. Then when you are on a feature, you need to be more contextualized, as we've said before. So the questions I'd ask is that, like we had for the Citizen app, do we have another scroll? Is the scroll located to the actual feature that we want to highlight when you come to a feature? So maybe take these recipes. When it's a gated content, it should be really contextualized. And what I like to try is on the first on the onboarding, because you said it was on the onboarding too. What you need to have is that maybe on the onboarding, very generic paywall, and at the end of the onboarding, maybe offer a specific discount with a countdown to leverage the scarcity and the FOMO to make the people convert. Can be a good strategy. Like, hey, we anchored a price in the beginning of the onboarding, like it's $14.99, but hey, it's your first connection, and just today, just for you, it's $6.99 for the first year. Can be a good strategy to have a better conversion on onboarding, but it's very tough to make a one-size-fits-all paywall for all kind of experiment, everybody, etc. So I think I'd be I'll try to see where it converts well in terms of population, cross, moment in experience, and then keep it for these locations, and then try something else otherwise with other kind of people.
Jake, what do you think?
I love this paywall. This is a Superwall paywall. So something that's cool about this one is this background image is a video. So these are 5 videos that auto scroll. You can swipe left and right, but the text is localized. So the text changes, based on the phone settings, which is really neat. Things I would test. I think that this paywall led to it was like a 60% boost in LTV. I think is what they published, and mainly the reason was because they increased the install to paywall rate. So they put this very close to onboarding, and they defaulted to the annual plan. So I would do a little bit more in price testing. I don't know if they've done that. I would also test 3 products, maybe 3 product options would be kind of neat. Other than that, I mean, I think it's a perfect paywall. I really do.
Yeah, and this, with the context, it was nice to get a little bit of context that they've tried, onboarding and triggered, and they've tried video versus slider, features versus benefits focused. Sometimes the paywall actually isn't your biggest point of leverage, and maybe you're not going to double conversions with the paywall itself, but you're going to double conversions, like Jake was saying, by putting the paywall in a different place.
Exactly.
So yeah, and it sounds like they've done a lot of the experiments that I would suggest. Like, okay, instead of having, auto scrolling videos and auto playing videos, try a more, features focus, try a little more selling, try something that's like longer in scrolling, try social proof. I definitely think there's a lot you could try if you feel like the paywall is still a point of leverage. Throw everything else you've ever done out the window and do a 50-50 on 10% of your traffic with something just totally out of left field, and see, just totally different. No videos, no whatever, just totally different. And see, but again, maybe the paywall isn't the biggest point of leverage for Mojo as a more mature app. I know they've worked a lot on onboarding and other aspects of the app. So maybe by the time you get to the paywall, that's just not a huge point of leverage. And that's an important thing to remember when you're optimizing your paywall, is that, maybe that's not the place where you're going to see the biggest wins. So, all right, let's rate it. I'll go 4 out of 5. It seems like it's performing really well for them, but I think some out of left field stuff might actually see some improvements. Jake?
I would say 4.5 out of 5.
Jeff?
7 out of 10. I need to change the scale this time.
7 out of 10. All right.
Yeah, it's need to see a little more of what I'm going to be able to achieve, but not having the video honestly doesn't help. But yeah, okay, I'll do a 4 because it's a French company.
All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, this is CV engineer. For those of us in the US, CV is like a resume. I actually looked that up on ChatGPT. What does that stand for? It's Latin something, I forget. But anyways, helps users build a resume. The paywall is not shown at the end of onboarding on iOS, and it's not a hard paywall. So maybe there's, like we were just talking about, maybe showing it on the end of onboarding is actually a higher leverage point than doing any more iterations on your paywall. The app has a short life cycles. Users stop needing it once they find a job. Other entry points, users get 2 free CV downloads. After that, they see the paywall. Users get 2 free AI assistant credits. After that, they see the paywall. And resume scan feature is paywalled. Jeff, what do you think?
Wow, there's a lot of work to do here. I think first of all on the copy, the title pro users are 2.5, 2.4x, etc., etc. Speak to your users directly. Get 2.5 more chances to get a job interview. Shorter, better as it speaks to you. The unlimited downloads doesn't speak to me. CV scan, everything's explained after, but it's kind of messy having all these. The type the font is not that sexy. The paywall is not that sexy too. I mean, it's not really appealing. 3 plans instead of 2. We'll try for weekly, maybe, unless all the value is unlocked directly. Like if everything you're unlocking is only meant to be used once, you shouldn't put weekly, but you shouldn't put a subscription either, I believe. But I like the reviews, the fact that there is reinsurance with the trusted, etc. There's press quotes, etc. But I think that the layout really is kind of old-fashioned layout, not really appealing. There is no free trial, so maybe that tends to tell that maybe there's no value after you unlock everything. It seems to me that there is a shadow behind the footer of the prices, but the shadow is not well done, so it cuts in white. It's very weird. There's a lot of work of design here. I mean, it really looks like a developer having done. I would have done better because I'm a poor designer, but it's really something I think I could have done, and it's not a good thing. And if you look at the pro features, the CV scan, etc., you have like scan your resume and the outcomes. I think it's a good practice to say that if you do that, 59% of a recruiter will reject the resume when they see a mistake. Okay, good. Highlight this more, because this is what you are trying to improve for your personal stuff. You can also brand AI. AI, it's like I've seen a lot of AI-powered AI icon even. So maybe trying to brand that more, but definitely hire a designer and make them work on the paywall first.
Jake?
Okay. Matthew. You have a big problem on your hands. So the problem is that you're getting tons of downloads, and I just looked up CV Engineer on App Figures, and the revenue completely is like, it's 10 times lower than what it should be. So you should be targeting at least $2 to $3 a download as your revenue target. So everything here needs to change. So what you for the design part, I would just honestly purchase the Superwall or RevenueCat. Just use a template. Just grab a template and just start using that. Put the paywall way before before the user gets into the app, during onboarding. I would put maybe a 3-day trial, and then just do an annual subscription, because it's like one time, but it's a little bit better. I would charge
or a
like
weekly, because if this is something where this is maybe a good opportunity to actually use weekly, because hey, you're going to be unemployed for 3 months or something.
It's a weird category where it's kind of like dating apps, where they actually make more money so long as you don't find a partner. So like you don't want to have like just do it for the year. Like you're looking for a job now, you charge for the year. Say when you get a job, it's easy to cancel. You can make that a benefit, on the paywall. But I would start, and this is another great point. Sometimes people feel the need to fill the blank page with a bunch of designs or text or reviews, instead of using it as an opportunity to figure out what sells. So switching from this to just the top portion. Imagine this just said pro users are 2.4 times more likely to get a job interview, and all you had was the check marks and then maybe 22,000 ratings. That's all you had on it. That would force you to keep iterating on just those elements until you found something that won. And then when you did, use whatever you learned to inform what graphics you include. So here it seems like you're leaning in on social proof with like the logos and the reviews. But I think that's an assumption that social proof is what works here. So yeah, just use the template.
Yeah, and to Jake's point, keeping that social proof might be fine, but just put it instead of doing long quotes, or maybe the long quotes are at the end, But if it's just one page, you have the 22,000 plus ratings, 5-star, and then just have Wired, CNET, Popular Science logos right there. And so you have like a little social proof segment where it's all above the fold. It's more condensed. I think that would be something to experiment with. I think what Jeff was saying was really good too, is like highlight that 59% of recruiters will reject a resume when they see a mistake. Sounds like that's a huge value prop for this app. Like that should be one of the things, if you take Jake's advice of like, let's really simplify this and start from the base, move that 59% of recruiters thing into whatever minimal text you have, to really sell that this is going to help you avoid getting your resume just looked over because of a mistake in the resume. So I want to get one more.
In fact, I found out what was really messing up here is that half of the content, like the features, are in the middle. Then you have a little bit of reinsurance, and you have the features again, and reinsurance again. It's even the composition is messy here.
Yeah, and again, it's like you can go both ways. Like, but you gotta try new stuff. I love Jake's idea of just simplifying it and then expanding from there versus like having all of this stuff. But maybe it is working for you, and once you simplify it, your conversions go down, and then you at least know that it's working versus working against you.
And when the user cancels, by the way, you can offer them to tip a little bit, like, hey, you found a job thanks to a resume. Give us a tip, Oh,
that's a great idea. Yeah. And then, I mean, on the business model thing too, I mean, $13 one time forever. I would hope you're delivering a whole lot more value than $13, especially if they're job hunting for weeks and months on end. That feels like really underpriced for a lifetime purchase. So maybe also be experimenting with price as well. All right, I do want to get to one more, so we got 3 minutes. Let's speed run one more. But I'll give this 2 out of 5 again. I think he's got some, like the building blocks are there, but definitely need some experimentation. Jake?
Same thing, 2 out of 5. Tons of potential. Most potential out of anyone, though.
Yeah. One out of 5.
Yeah. All right, last one. Let's speed run this one. This is a Budgeat app. So it sounds like it's, first comment. I don't know what that means. It's very confusing as a name for an app, Budgeat. But
it's budget and eat, I guess.
Yeah. I like it.
You're eating. Maybe it's clever. Yeah. I think reading it on the bottom right as Budgeat is really confusing, but then the logo actually kind of does make it make sense. Let's speed run this. Just 2 quick tips, Jake.
Less text, and where it says this is a pro feature, replace that with an animation of like a lock on the screen, something that's really annoying, and then sort of fade that away into the paywall.
Jeff?
Not sure that the coming soon is well appreciated by Apple on the review side, because they don't want you to market on the paywall what's not included in the subscription. They rejected some apps for that, which can grant you a pair of socks by RevenueCat, by the way, which I saw my son wearing lately. when I'm out of laundry. I don't know what the app is doing, but if your app is offering recipes, first of all, there's another breach in the guidelines. By the way, you don't see the price in the bottom, neither in the first page. Be careful for that. Maybe it passed validation already, but won't next time. And last thing, maybe I'll try a poison picking option with a consumable. If you are unlocking maybe recipes, the 2-3 first recipes you get in one day, it's for free, and then you need to subscribe, or you can purchase a one-time purchase, not a one-time, but a consumable to unlock this specific recipe or whatever you are trying to sell.
All right, I give this a 1 out of 5. A lot of room for improvement here.
Yes.
Jake?
3 out of 11.
Jeff?
It's 5 out of 42.
All right. So we got to 8 paywalls out of 80 plus paywalls that were submitted for this webinar. So clearly, and I see the chat has just been popping off the entire time. Clearly, we need to do like a 12-hour marathon live paywall roast. I won't host that, but maybe we can do this more often. Thomas Petit was in the chat. We can get him on. There's other folks in the industry that I think would have great perspectives. So we will definitely do this again. So I know a lot of you, I did see a few people begging to cover their app in the chat. Sorry we didn't get to it. But I hope this was helpful. If you like what you saw here, we do have the Subclub podcast, community newsletter. Go check that out at revenuecat.com/subclub. Jake, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, or you can book a demo for Superwall, and we could do this one-on-one.
Nice. Jeff?
Well, mostly on LinkedIn. I roasted, by the way, the new paywall of Facebook this morning that is out in Europe. We have the chance to pay for Facebook now. So have a look at my LinkedIn for that. Yeah, lucky me. And it's really interesting, by the way. We studied this. It was really interesting in how they don't want you to make it. It's all the counterexample for not making people pay for subscription and stick to ads. So yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn or basically LinkedIn, a little bit of Twitter too.
Yep, and purchasely.com.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Thank you so much. We will do this again. Jake and Jeff, this was a ton of fun. Y'all were amazing sports doing this with us, and hope everyone found this super useful, and we'll talk more paywalls soon.
Yeah, thanks, David, for the event, and thanks, Jake. Bye.
Thank you all.